guys know the drill. Everybody up. Come on, rise to your feet. Let's get some ready to kill fat. Jump up and down. Turn to your neighbor and say, kill fat. Turn to your other neighbor and say, I'm a fat burner. Yell it out loud at the top of your lungs. Woohoo! All right, give yourself a round of applause. Good job, good job. All right, are you awake yet? Almost. Well, since this is a fat burning workshop, don't get too comfortable. We may have to do that a little bit more. You never know. Thank you all for being here. I'm Dr. Yachter, if we haven't met. So we're going to have some fun tonight. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Happy New Year, if we haven't already said that. How many of you guys have some goals for this year? Raise your hand if you want this year to be the healthiest year of your life. Good. Well, I'm going to give you some tools, resources, a few things here and there. And I promise you, tonight, you will have your wheelbarrow full. I'll try not to get too technical, too wordy, but I'm not making any promises. So keep learning and keep growing in 2020. For those of you who don't know, we have these workshop cards, which will tell you what workshop we're doing every single month of the year for the whole 12 months out. And this is something that we love doing. We've been doing it for 20 years. Faithful to our workshops, right, Biani?
Yes.
Faithful to our workshops. So we invite you to come back next month. Heart Smart Nutrition. Did you know that February is Heart Health Awareness Month? Did you know that? What is the leading disease killer in the United States? Heart disease, yeah. So do you think this is an important workshop? Some of you maybe know people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, taking medications, blood pressure, cholesterol, looking for what else you can do, maybe to reduce, get off that. Do not miss this workshop. If that's something that's important to you, because we've got all the research, all the solutions, and things that will help get you on the way in that direction. Also, this is the month that we start doing a lot of community events, going out, speaking at places of work, worship, because how many of you guys know people who are on heart medication right now? Yeah. And a lot of folks praying for an answer, hoping, wishing, praying, but not really aligning their lifestyle with the way God built their body. And so this is where we kind of bring the education to the community. You have something like that where you need me to help out, come in and donate my time to a group that you care about and you want to see get healthier, please let me know. And we'll look at our schedule and see if we can coordinate. But this is one of the most important months of the year. So that's coming up next month. As far as losing weight, feeling great, being your healthiest year ever, that's something that everybody wants. I want to talk a little more seriously about obesity and what that really translates to, other than just a cosmetic defect or deformity or whatever you want to call it. It goes way beyond the cosmetic thing. And most of you in here know this, but fully about a third of people in the United States are obese. That's not just being overweight, that's obese. That's when your BMI is over 30. Now you start getting into the danger zone with other diseases. 43 out of the 52 states in our country have obesity rates of at least 25% of the population of that state. At least 43 out of 52 states. I mean, you get into 20 of these states, the population, at least 30% of the population is obese. Then when you add it all up, more than a third of US adults are obese, a third of our country. Again, this is when the BMI is over 30, and you're talking about increased risk for heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and dementia, Alzheimer's disease. Yeah, obesity. Increase your risk for that also. More than 60% of American adults are overweight. Does that surprise anybody? Probably not. But in the past 20 years, alarmingly high rise of children being overweight. I've heard it say over and over again by a lot of health experts that this is the first generation where the parents really are probably going to be outliving the children. And if we don't do something about this and set a good example sometime soon, that may come to sad fruition. So when we do gain weight, and what's the first thing to happen when you start putting on weight? Easy 20 pounds, what happens with your blood pressure? Starts going up. And then you go to the doctor, and what's the first thing that you're going to be handed? A blood pressure medication. You already know the cause, and we just go along with treating the effects, never correcting the cause. And so we wake up one day and have an epiphany, or find yourself at a workshop with saying, okay, well, here's what we can do instead. Beta blocker drugs, diuretics, raise insulin levels. Did you know that? So typically when you go on heart medications, if you're on it long enough, soon enough you find yourself diabetic as well. Increases your risk of diabetes by up to 50%, blood pressure medications. Did you know that? If you're on it long enough, and I've seen this time and time again, that's why, you know, the basic couple that I see of people coming in on medications is blood pressure, cholesterol, because cholesterol just, that's part of the dance, and then diabetes. Those three medications, the most common, probably 60% of the people that come in, that's where they find themselves age 55 and beyond. Once you're on diabetes medication, here's what happens. You have a risk of fatal heart attack. You have a risk of heart problems. Risk of heart failure in patients taking diabetes drugs can be what? 100% higher than those who don't. So if you want to put yourself at risk for a heart failure or a massive heart attack, you know, you have to ask yourself, how long you know, do you stay on this stuff, or is there a way to start reducing and getting off of it? Other side effects of diabetes medications: pancreatic cancer, thyroid cancer, urinary infections, gastrointestinal issues, gallbladder, kidney problems. So side effects, side effects, side effects. How many of you guys were at the diabetes workshop we did in November? A couple of you guys? Okay. We went into it deeply there, and I probably had a good half a dozen patients come up to me after who were basically committed to making sure that they took action to reduce and get off those meds. And most of them did. Most of them did. So again, you know, when we start putting on weight, what happens? How many of you guys know people who have to sleep with a CPAP machine? Very, very common, isn't it? I was just having lunch with one of my colleagues the other day, and he's like, man, this sleep apnea, the CPAP machine has just been a godsend to me. And you know, where do you think he is with his weight? Probably good, yeah, easily. I mean, 40 pounds overweight. And again, it's, you know, we're quick to self-diagnose, but the reality is that you'll never know until you get your body weight within normal range. All these health issues that we suffer from could literally, in many cases, stem from one simple cause. And if you correct that, then a lot of the problems will seemingly mysteriously vanish. So just backtracking, what we know today is that if you lose 22 pounds, it reduces your heart attack risk by what? 22 pounds, woo, just like that. I'm not saying it's easy, but is it doable? Yes or yes? Yeah, if you have a plan, it is. 15-pound weight loss reduces your risk of diabetes by how much? 50%, 15%, or 50%, I'm sorry, 15 pounds, 50%. That's pretty good bang for the buck, wouldn't you say? Losing 10 pounds doubles your chances of normalizing your blood pressure. So again, these are conversations that I consistently have with patients, you know, who have blood pressure issues, whether too high blood pressure, too low. First thing that we look at is, where are you with your weight? Have you lost too much weight? Are you still on the same medication that they put you on, and you lost 10 pounds or 15 pounds, and now you're feeling dizzy and woozy and something's not right? Or did you know, maybe you're not on medication, and then you put on 20 pounds. Now your blood pressure's off the chart. So people are always asking, they're always looking for answers, and weight typically comes quickly to the core of where these problems are, right? So what's the solution? Go on a diet, right? Wrong. Okay. Now when I talk about losing weight, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. How many of you guys have ever lost 10, 15, 20 pounds before? Okay. And how many of you guys put that weight right back on? Okay. Welcome to the club. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? All right, so hopefully you'll learn something tonight as far as why that happens and what to do to prevent it from happening again. If it does happen, you'll know what to do to fix it, and you won't be scratching your head anymore. Here's why diets don't work. When you conserve calories, are you speeding up your metabolism or slowing it down? You're slowing it down. And the more you slow your metabolism down, your body's going to try to hang on to the fat, because fat's what is the primary source of energy for your body, for your brain. And it doesn't want to let go of the fat. So you'll dump muscle, you'll dump water, the scale is going down, and you're still slowing your metabolism down. And you look down and you're like, well, I'm doing good. I lost 10 pounds, I lost 15 pounds. Meanwhile, your metabolism is getting slower and slower and slower. In the process, you're doing irreparable, possibly damage to that. And then you're happy, you hit your goal, you lost your 10, 15 pounds, now you start eating again. You double your calories with a slower metabolism, now what happens? You put on the weight so fast it makes your head spin. And there we go, we're frustrated all over again. So that's the problem. It's all about your metabolism. If you lose all the weight, but you make your metabolism worse, then you're doomed to put it back on, and you're going to put even more back on, because it resets your thermostat, your weight set points, higher and higher every time your metabolism gets slower and slower. So I want to give you 3 keys tonight to what? Reset your metabolism. When you reset your metabolism, your body's going to be a lean, mean, fat-burning machine. Say, ah! Good, I'm glad you're up. Wake up. Okay, don't fall asleep on me yet. That's my dog, Jake. He is a greyhound rescue dog. We adopted him in 2016. My son was all year long. It was a full year I had to listen to it. I want a dog, I want a dog, I want a dog, I want a dog. He just would not stop. Relentless. I took lesson from him, a lesson in persistence. I lost that battle. He got a new dog. And so I didn't want something that was going to shed and stink, and greyhound seemed, or eat up all my clothes and furniture and stuff as a puppy. So the logical solution seemed to be adoption, because I know they abuse these animals, and they're beautiful animals. It's the only dog you'll hear, the only breed you'll hear mentioned in the Bible, greyhound, in Proverbs. So at any rate, they're pretty cool dogs. But this thing is a specimen. When we picked him up, he was 4 years old, and a retired racer. That's a picture of one of his races. I found his races online. And so he was in the dirt, he was scratching, clawing, biting, winning races, and I think he got injured, so they retired him. But all muscle. Dog is all muscle. When we picked him up, 72 pounds, all muscle. Now, how do they breed them like that? Well, basically, when they're out, they're basically training them, and they have used them to the point where they go out and they run them hard, but they run them in short spurts. They do 1 lap around, it's a minute, and they're done. That's it. So hard, full-out spurts of energy, and that's what builds this lean muscle mass. And this thing is a specimen. And guess what? We've had him for 4 years, and we take him to the vet and get him checked, get him weighed. Stands on the scale. How much does he weigh? 72 pounds. I fed him the same 2.5 cups for breakfast, 2.5 cups of the food for dinner. Consistently, they told me that. I don't never overfed him. He looks and weighs the same as he did when he was in his prime peak shape. How is that possible? He's a lean, mean, fat-burning machine. And so, you see these people, like the runner on the left, that's a sprinter. And the runner on the right is a marathoner. And they're distinctly different physical builds. And the reason why is because of the hormonal response that's created from the exercise that they do. So when it comes to fat burning, it's less about how many calories you're burning during your workout. And it's, if you want to get this dialed in like I'm going to talk about tonight, remember primarily it's about the hormonal response after the exercise. You can feel good while you're exercising. I mean, I miss my days of running 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, runner's high, feeling good. When I come home, I just about collapse after like a 3-hour run. I felt good while I was doing it, didn't feel so good after. Hungry, boy, I got like an appetite, would never be satisfied. And I was happy because I was achieving my goals, but it wasn't very, very healthy. And when I started studying this, it finally made sense to me. So what's the classic aerobic exercise? You go out, you do a 5-mile run, go out for 30 minutes running, go out for 45 minutes, right? And we do this, and a lot of people who do this, right? We go out on long distance runs, and we're supposed to be the healthiest thing in the world. Well, I have news for you. You ever hear of Jim Fixx? Wrote the book on running. He was out on a 10-mile run one day, and what happened? He dropped dead of a heart attack. So we know now, today, there's evidence that's coming out on this, on how much damage ultra-distance running does to your health, and particularly your heart. So, there's a medium here, and I'm not saying it doesn't have its health benefits. So when you're out doing this long-duration, low-intensity exercise, it lowers your resting heart rates, increases stroke volume. It does make your heart stronger. You're pumping more blood per beat. It lowers your blood pressure, it helps to detox, it cleanses your lymphatic system. So there are benefits, but what are some of the drawbacks? It raises your stress hormones. Cortisol goes up. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone. Guess what happens when cortisol goes up? Cortisol affects all the other hormones. When cortisol goes up, what soon follows? Insulin levels go up. And when insulin levels go up, you're not in fat burning anymore, you're in what? Fat storing, yeah. So this happens post-exercise, not while you're exercising, after the exercise. It breaks down muscle, stimulates appetite, it decreases testosterone. Did you hear that? That what? Decreases testosterone. That's not good because how many of you guys want to lose muscle mass? How many of you guys want to lose sex drive? I mean, these are all the things that are happening after as a result of the hormonal changes. Growth hormone. Don't we need growth hormone? We need growth hormone and testosterone to maintain what? Muscle mass. Okay? The less muscle mass you have, the slower your metabolism. The slower your metabolism, the less you're going to burn fat. So how important is the testosterone and the growth hormone? It's preeminent if you want to be fat burning. Didn't you just tell me that? Yeah? So we have to focus on what we can do to flip this on its head, okay? The burst training is the complete opposite. It's high intensity for a short duration period of time. And this is what they train the greyhounds, and this is what they train sprinters, and that's why they have so much muscle mass and they're so lean, because of what it does to the hormones after the exercise. Are you guys with me? What happens after you go all out for a short period of time? Human growth hormone is released, and fat is mobilized. Your endorphin levels go up, which is the happy feeling, the good feeling that you get from exercise. It increases the growth of all muscle fibers, slowing down muscle wasting, typically attributed to aging. We're talking about the fountain of youth, guys. Growth hormone is the fountain of youth. If you want to create youth and vitality, this is where it's at. Muscle is the greatest determinant for metabolism. Didn't we say that? What is? Muscle. So how are we going to build that back up? How do I burst change? Exercise at 80 to 90%. You really want to put maximum output, maximum effort into this. For how long?
20 seconds.
20 seconds. It causes the body to burn fat. For how long? The next 36. Wow. Are you telling me 20 seconds gets a 36-hour return on that investment for time? Just about. Watch how this works. Only 3 to 4 sets at 20 seconds. How many times a week? 3 times a week. You don't want to do this every day. You can do it every other day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Just pick your days every other day. More is not better. You have to have a day of rest in between your workouts where you do something else. So, the basic workout plan, for those of you who are beginners and you have not engaged in exercise in a long time, how long should you be engaging in exercise? More than once a year? Okay. So you're still awake, that's a good thing. So here's what it would look like. You go 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 20 seconds on, you burst, 20 seconds off, you rest, 20 seconds on, you burst, 20 seconds off, you rest. Or 2-minute rest after the last one. And now, if you don't do any exercise, quit after that. Okay, so that's your 60 seconds. That's all you're going to do. And you do that the rest of the week, and then the following week, you can add a second set. And then the following week, you can add the third set. By the time you're done with the third set, the whole workout just took you 12 minutes. How many minutes? 12 minutes to cause you to burn fat for the next 36 hours? What do you say, Paul? Is that a good ROI? I like that. How do you create more with less? Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody stand up. Who's got a second hand? Can somebody time it for me? I need somebody to do a second hand time. Who can time 20 seconds for me? So we're going to do this. 20 seconds on, 20 off, 20. I like how nobody's volunteering. They're hoping that we just sit down again. Can you do it? Okay, count me off 20 seconds and then keep counting because we're going to rest 20 seconds on and off, all right? Ready? Tell me when to go.
Go.
All right, everybody go ahead. Run in place and arms up and down. Arms up and down. Arms up and down. You're going to get a good workout like that. This is going to get your heart going. Paul's going to let us know when we get to rest. Could be any minute now. Any minute. 20, okay. All right, don't sit down. We're gonna rest for 20 seconds.
I'm beating the women on either my side.
What's that?
I'm beating the women.
Beating?
That's not good.
That's not good. At least you're keeping them awake. All right, how many more seconds there? Couple more seconds. All right, get ready for your next set. 20, ready to go. Okay, arms up and down. If you can do it, great. Do the best you can. You're burning fat. We're killing fat. Let's all be friends. Good. Okay, stop. All right, hang tight. You guys are doing good. We got one more set. I hear the wind. I hear the wind. You guys are doing good. Isn't that good?
There's a cold front coming.
There's a cold front coming. We got more oxygen. Thank goodness for the cold front. All right, I like more oxygen. I like cold weather. Ready, go. Okay, last one. Come on, guys, finish strong. Woohoo! Turn to your neighbor, say woohoo! Turn to your neighbor, say you're a fat burner. Turn to your other neighbor, say you're a champ. Good job.
Good champ.
20. Okay, good. Give yourself a round of applause. High five your neighbor. High five your neighbor. High five your neighbor. You guys are awesome. Woo! All right. Don't you feel good?
Yes.
Good.
My arms hurt.
So, remember, if you're just starting out, their arms hurt from injury. They're black and blue in the morning. Poor things. Oh my goodness. All right, so that was just one set, okay? You can do that. Anybody here can do that. You all just did it, so you did great. Now, if you're just starting off, do that 3 times a week, and then the following week, just rest 2 minutes, where we're resting right now, pick it up and start over again. And do that all week, and then the 3rd week, do it a 3rd time. Does that make sense? Excellent. We can do it. We can do it. All right, so when's the best time to turn on fat burning? When's the best time to exercise? In the morning. Why? Because of the hormones. Hormones are peaking. All right, so cortisol is at its highest. Testosterone is at its highest. Growth hormone is at its highest. Insulin is at its lowest. Remember, when insulin is at its lowest, fat burning is at its, you have your best opportunity for fat burning. So that's a key thing I'm going to swing back to with the nutrition, because you want to focus on keeping insulin levels low and stable all day if you want to maintain fat burning. So we'll come back to that. But on an empty stomach, whenever you can, exercise on an empty stomach. You're going to create a fat burning hormonal response. I would say, try to do these exercises in the morning, not in the afternoon. Like if it's the only time you can do it, it's better than nothing in the afternoon, or in the evening, it's better than nothing. But if you can do it in the morning, I think you can. I'm one of those who tend to believe that, you're the architect of your schedule, you're the architect of your life. It doesn't matter to me if you get up at 5:30 in the morning, you get up at 5. If you get up at 5 normally and you want to exercise, get up at 4:30. It doesn't matter. You'll go to sleep maybe a half hour earlier every night. You're just going to set your alarm, your whole cadence back just a little bit. You can do it if you set your mind to it and you set your schedule to it. You wake up every day. And for me, some days I feel like a spring chicken, and some days I don't. But you know what? I'm consistent. I am a product of discipline, which means when my alarm goes off every single day, regardless of how I feel, I'm going in the gym and I'm going to work out. And how do you think I feel when I'm done working out? I always feel better. It doesn't matter how good I feel or how lousy I feel or how old I feel. I always feel younger and better, and I always have more energy, and I'm always better off for doing it. And it's just, again, somebody once said discipline is freedom. And you know what? If you can stick to that and just do it because you're supposed to do it, you'll do all the things that you love to do when you want to do it. Yes, sir?
Doesn't it take 23 days in a row that you do it now, not to have it?
Yeah, 23 days a habit. How many of you guys have heard of that? 23 days a habit, 30 days a habit. And I always say, good habits are just as hard to break as bad ones. Once it becomes a habit, I'll tell you, somebody told me earlier that they've been working out They've been working out every day. They just lost 10 pounds. Louise, that's what you told me, right? Yeah, she just lost 10 pounds. She's been working out every day, and she had some people she was walking with, and they fell off. She kept going. Why'd you keep going? Why do you keep doing it? I just feel so much better since I've been doing it. Yeah, why would you stop? So just do it in the morning. Just do it in the morning, and you'll be glad that you do it. You get it over with. Give your first fruits to the Lord. That's what I always say. That's how I go about it. Read my Bible, pray, and I exercise every single day. Give my first fruits to the Lord. Now, what do you do on the alternate days? When you're not burst training, go for a brisk walk. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Just get out there and do a brisk walk. You don't have to get your heart rate up, but just get out there and shake your tail feather. It's really good to keep your body moving. It's good for your back, too, by the way. It's good for your back. I'm just like you guys. I have herniated and bulging discs. I have degeneration in my spine. And that's one of the reasons before I do any workout, I do a 5 to 10 minute brisk walk. Yeah, 5 to 10 minute brisk walk. It just loosens everything up. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself. So eliminate toxins, sugar, and bad fats. That's the second key, okay? So what's the first key? Exercise, right? The correct exercise, the burst training. Second key is, now we're going to focus on nutrition. Eliminate toxins, sugar, and bad fats. So what does sugar cause? that will take you out of fat burning? Causes a hormonal response. Remember we said weight loss is not about counting calories, it's about what? Hormones. Hormones, yeah. Everybody say hormones.
Hormones.
So what does sugar do to your hormones? Throws it way out of whack. Why? Because when sugar starts going in, where does insulin go? Up. And then what does insulin take with it? Fat. Yeah, it takes you out of fat burning. So is insulin a hormone? Yes or yes? Yeah. So taking you out of fat storage, as soon as anything that turns to sugar, that's going to happen. The second thing is toxins. Toxins affect your thyroid. Does your thyroid have anything to do with your metabolism?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How else do toxins affect you with fat burning? Well, toxins have an affinity for fat. So your body uses fat to hide toxins from your body in a protective manner or a protective mechanism. So the more toxic you are, the more fat your body's going to make as a protective mechanism. Does that make sense? So you have to lose both. And the next thing is hydrogenated oils. And so these are toxic also. So when we look at that, I want you to remember that it causes, just like sugar and toxins, it causes acidity and inflammation. And when your body has inflammation, it's not good. What does it want to try to do? Heal itself. And what does it use to heal and repair itself? Fat. Are you with me so far? Okay, so read the labels to try to prevent that. When you read these labels, you may see 0 grams of trans fat, but when you look in the ingredients and it says partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, what is that? Bad fat. Hydrogenated oils, bad fat. When you look at some of these other ones, you look at the ingredients on something seemingly healthy like a Nutri-Grain bar, and that's the label for a Nutri-Grain bar, and what does it say? High fructose corn syrup. What's the next ingredient? Corn syrup. What's the next ingredient? High fructose corn syrup. What's the next ingredient? Glycerin. What's the next ingredient? Fructose. Sugar. Maltose. What is this? It's all sugar. Go further down, more high fructose corn syrup. More glucose, more partially hydrogenated soybean oil. So if you're just going by clever marketing and what the picture looks like and you think that it's healthy, you'll be fooled if you don't read these labels. And that's, it could be low in calorie, but it's going to cause your body to hold on to fat and actually make more fat. And so we have to look for these things. These toxins are lurking everywhere. They spray it on the crops. Glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup. It's on everything that has soy and corn. Amalgam fillings we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Flu shots, all the preservatives in foods, lipsticks having lead, all the cosmetics having chemicals in them, and where do they go? They go right into our skin. So I won't get into the toxic part of it because we spent a good hour and 15 minutes a couple of weeks ago on that. But you can go online and watch the video if you didn't see it. I have Bruce. You just told me you've been on the detox program for 2 weeks, and you said you're already starting to see the difference, already starting to feel the difference. Some of you guys are starting to do it, and I'm excited for you because you've only been doing it 2 weeks. You haven't seen, the best is yet to come. You haven't seen anything yet, so Some of you guys are in for some good stuff. But if you haven't seen the detox workshop, go online. You can watch it. And if you want to see any of these workshops, the key for your word search in YouTube, if you didn't know this, is Dr. Yachter, and then whatever the subject is that you want to watch, whatever workshop you want to watch. Dr. Yachter, and then put in Heart Smart or Cancer or True Cellular Detox, and you can go do some more research on that. So I want to take you down to the cell, and so you understand what's happening here. I told you I was going to try not to get too heady, but here we go. So what's at the cell? What's at the basic level of the cell? Everything. All life is in the cells, right? Everything happens. All your energy, all your DNA, your genetic expression happens inside the cell. So here's where the battle starts, at the surface of the cell. I'm going to take you down to a cell. At the bottom of that picture right there, you see the blue, right? That goes from right to left, that whole blue thing with all the little bubbles on it. You know what that is? That's the cell wall. It's basically a cross-section. Everybody with me so far? Okay. So the upper part is the outer wall. The lower part below is the internal part of the wall. And so when we talk about the cell membrane, it's called a phospholipid bilayer. What's a lipid? It's a fat. So what is the cell wall made up of? Fat. Very good. Okay, so this is really important because fat's soft, delicate, it's permeable. Remember, all the good stuff has to get in. By these receptor molecules, it pulls all your vitamins, your hormones, insulin, testosterone, thyroid, everything has to go through the cell membrane. As long as it's functioning properly, these are some of the components that are used. But you see those little dashes that run across there? That's supposed to represent negative electrons, right? Electrons are on the outside, and the protons are on the inside. So the outside of the cell is negatively charged, and the inside of the cell is positively charged. Why am I sharing that with you? Because when you look at live blood cell microscopy, if you look at red blood cells, they're supposed to be, have a pretty good velocity through the bloodstream, right? Red blood cells are carrying oxygen, you want energy, so they have to basically be able to repel each other so that they can move through there the way that they're supposed to. Are you with me so far? Say aye. Okay. And so that cell wall has to be negatively charged out there. So when we contrast that for when we have sugar, toxins, and bad fats, when all that stuff goes on to try to get into the cell, remember the cell doesn't really have receptors for foods that were made in a laboratory, like hydrogenated oils like artificial margarine, artificial sweeteners, processed foods. You see the frankfurters, Crisco oil, hydrogenated fats, caffeine, alcohol, high fructose corn syrup sodas. All these things are toxins. So when it comes to the surface of the cell, what does it cause? Inflammation. What does it cause? Inflammation. So it irritates the cell wall. And if the cell wall is irritated, it needs healing, it needs repair. What is the cell wall made of? Fat. So what's it going to make more of to help itself, the body? Make more fat. So that's why you got to get rid of this stuff. If you want to unload the fat, you've got to get rid of all this stuff and allow your body to heal so it'll release the fat. Is that making sense? So what happens is all these, electrons, all the negative charge on the outside of the cell loses its polarity because the cell becomes disrupted. The integrity of the cell wall actually bursts, and all of the positive charge comes out, and now you have all these cells start clumping and attracting each other and sticking together. And now they can't move through the artery. Now they can't bring the blood flow properly. Now it can't bring the oxygen, and now your energy goes down. And this is a perfect environment for candida, fungus, yeast, mold, and cancer to survive in. Okay, because this is the internal ecosystem of your body, and it's either a host for health or it's a host for disease. And it all depends on what you put in. That's what you get out. Pretty interesting, isn't it? All right, so how do we heal again? How do we heal at the cell level? Particularly what we're talking about tonight, not to mention that this is a recipe for all disease, and really all healing if you want to reverse engineer this. But for the purposes of burning fat, what do we have to do to release the fat? Got to heal and repair the membrane of the cell, right? So what's the first easiest thing that you can do? Add good fat, because your body's trying to heal itself. You're abusing it, it's inflamed, right? So give it what it needs to heal and repair. Needs good fats. Fish oil capsules, right? avocados, almonds, walnuts. What else do you see there? Coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, butter. All these good fats will help your body to heal and repair and ultimately help to release the fat. Are you with me so far? Okay. Got to have this in every meal. You got to make it a basic constituent of your diet. So when we were in elementary school, everybody knows the food pyramid, and they told us the majority of what we should be eating was what? Breads, pasta, cereal, rice, carbohydrates. And that's ruined us. That's like single-handedly the main cause of why people are overweight, obese, diabetic, and a lot of the health problems that we have. So we talk about this all the time. I don't want to beat this up, but you should be transitioning to more of a proteins, fruits, vegetable, fat type of diet. There's no reason for you to have bread, pasta, rice, and cereal, potatoes, like every day of the week with every meal. You don't need to have that. And you're not going to die without it. Believe me. So try it. If you want to cheat night, once a week, twice a week, that's fine. I say moderation. Moderation. But sometimes people get moderation confused with doing that like 4 or 5 days a week, and maybe eating good like 1 or 2 days. So we tend to blur our edges. We're good for a little while, and then we start to migrate back to the things that got us in trouble in the first place, right? So here's what I try to do. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm not above or below anybody. I consider myself in the average with everybody, except, remember, one thing I got that's going for me is discipline. So I'm pretty darn good. I don't like feeling poopy and lousy when I'm having to take care of a lot of people all week. All right, so no one can anchor to an unanchored mind. I need my mind clear, and I need my body to be ready to go. So I start on this stuff Sunday. I prepare Monday on Sunday. So Saturday night, I had my last night. I had my last meal at 5:45, 6 o'clock, right before we went to church, and that was it. I did not eat until after I worked out and I had breakfast. So good 14 hours later. And I was very careful with what I had. I had chicken, stir-fried chicken. All it was just chicken and broccoli and some vegetables, lots of extra virgin olive oil all over it. That was my last meal. So I won't bore you with all the details of the rest of the day, but I'm really careful with that last meal. And then what am I having tonight? Salmon and more vegetables. Lots of extra virgin olive oil. I'll tell you what, if there's one meal that you could and should work on to make a big difference with this, it's the last meal of your day. Don't blow the last meal of your day, because you'll be wearing it the next day. Your belt's going on, you're going out one more. So let's not kid ourselves. Like, you could fudge a little bit for breakfast, lunch. Maybe you'll work it off during the day, hopefully. But really, it should start looking more like this, right? Some of you guys have seen this before. Here's what I eat for breakfast. I just have a shake, because the shake is quick, it's simple, and it helps to keep my blood sugar level, so I can stay in fat burning after my fat burning workout. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's why I like doing the shake. Along with the shake, I have my berries. I love berries. Berries these are low sugar, and they're high in antioxidants. So you want to choose raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, just the berries with almond butter. And make sure that your almond butter is not peanut butter. Make sure your almond butter is not dry roasted. Make sure your almond butter is not salted. So if you want to do this right, go get the best stuff. And it's raw, it's organic. You're worth it, because when you start skimping on good healthy food, you make it up in paying for prescriptions and treating disease later on, right? So try the good stuff, and you'll see a big difference. And so this is what breakfast looks like for me. And many of you guys here, raise your hand if you started doing this. How many of you guys? Good, make me proud, thank you. Good job. So the shakes are breakfast of champion. And once you start doing it, you're not gonna stop. It saves time, money, and it helps your body release fat, and it really helps prime the pump and get your day started off on the right foot. Lunch, what does lunch look like for me? Well, today I had a can of tuna fish. Very often I'll have organic chicken, and I always have it on a salad with an avocado, extra virgin olive oil. I'll put some pink salt on there, and cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and that's pretty much it. I pretty much do that every day, Sunday through Thursday. Friday at 11:30, you might find me over at Vito's, having my 2 slices of pizza, or La Bamba with my pollo alla plancha. But again, Sunday through Thursday, this is what it looks like for me. And then again, I won't go off. I won't have two. If I do 2 cheat days in a row, yeah, I got some catching up to do. So I would not encourage that. I'm not telling you that I'm proud of it, but I try to know my limitations. Didn't Clint Eastwood say that once in Dirty Harry? Man's got to know his limitations. Women, you have to know that too. Dinner, here's what dinner looks like. You know, if you have grass-fed meat, that would look like lamb and asparagus. Chicken breast with vegetables. What do you have here? Fish, broccoli, a little bit of jasmine rice. Again, like I said, if you're going to have this once or twice a week, a little bit of jasmine rice. It's still alkaline. It's not very inflammatory. Use it, but don't abuse it, right? Here's another tool in your tool belt. All right, this is called intermittent fasting. How many of you guys heard of intermittent fasting? Very, very popular lately, but it's been around for a really long time. Athletes use this, celebrities use it. Some of my patients do this, and it is effective and it does work. And so it's pretty simple when you stop to think about it. I just mentioned earlier that I went to sleep. I had my last meal at 5:45, and I didn't eat until what time? At 8 o'clock. So basically I went about 14 hours without food. Intermittent fast, that's almost intermittent fasting. This technically, based on this, would be 16-8. 16 hours no eating and 8 hours of eating. Not 8 hours of eating continuously, but an 8-hour window of when you can have your meals. So this would be, some examples, like here's an example, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The green shaded area in the middle shows you 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's your 8-hour window to eat your breakfast and dinner or breakfast and lunch. Usually you just want to do 2 meals. You don't want to do 3 because you want to give yourself a good 4 to 5 hours to let that food digest. So you're either in the feeding or the fasting stage. So most people do 2 meals. And when you're looking at this, the one in the middle, it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Like that would work for me. I would pick that one if that's the one I was doing, because I don't like eating after 6 o'clock. I go to bed at 9. I try to get in bed by 9, 9:15, 9:30 at the latest, because I'm up at 5. So that would work for me. For some of you guys who go to bed later, you don't want your stomach growling before you get into bed, because then you're tossing and turning. You're going to be up all night maybe. I don't know, that worries me a little bit. But this one would go noon, you have your first meal, and then 8 o'clock would be your last meal. You see how that works? Now, let me just share a little secret with you. Again, I try not to be long-winded. Gosh, we're saying a lot tonight. But sometimes, I'll eat my last meal at 6:30, and I'll be ready for bed at 9, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, or I'm reading in bed and I'm like trying to fall asleep and I hear my stomach growling. What do? I get up and I'll have a little bit of the Mediclear or the shake, just like a half a scoop, and a small little bit of water, just enough to coat my stomach, go to sleep, and it really doesn't make a difference in terms of how I look and feel in the morning, but it'll hold me over. Just a little Dr. Yachter trick of the trade there. But if you're really trying to lose weight, this is one of the easier things. If that'll work for you, eat your last meal at 8 o'clock. Don't eat until noon the next day. Wake up in the morning, have lemon water. If you want to have tea or coffee, you can do that. So stick with one of these schedules if that's something that interests you. Another thing that you want to do to help your body release fat. Okay, so again, this will help you get into fat burning. This also is something that you need to do. Make sure that you're well hydrated. If you're dehydrated, your body won't let go of the fat. If you're dehydrated, your body will not let go of the fat. Now, some of us, we think that we can drink 5-6 glasses of water a day, and that'll keep the doctor away. That's an old lifestyle. It doesn't work. Figure whatever your body weight is, and basically divide that by 2, and that's the amount of fluid ounces that you should be drinking or shooting for, pretty much. On a daily basis. So if you weigh 200 pounds, if you're a man, 100 fluid ounces, 3 liters, basically 3 liters. If you work out, you may need more. Women, typically 1.5 liters, 2 liters, something like that. So make sure that your urine is white and it's clear, and that's how you know that you're hydrated. Another thing that can help you stay hydrated is the pink salt, not white table salt, pink salt. And the reason why is because if it comes from PR labs, other labs may do this, I'm not sure which ones, but From PR Labs, I know that they dry it. They don't use a super heating process where they heat the salt to over 1,000 degrees. It's solar dried or air dried, and this way it retains all of its minerals, and the minerals will help keep you hydrated. So I like to sprinkle that stuff all over my salad, all over my vegetables, all over my food, pretty much every meal except breakfast. So I would highly recommend that for you guys. It's not the type of salt that'll cause your blood pressure to go up, so that's not something you need to be concerned with, but that's something that I would recommend in terms of your fat burning plan. All right, my mouth is going a mile a minute, so I want to give it a rest and give your bottoms a rest too. So why don't we all stand up, and we're going to turn to the right, and turn to the right. Put your hands on your friendly neighbor there, and give a squeeze. Let's do a massage. Good. You can get that stress out, right? Love your neighbor. Get that stress out. Do a karate chop. All right. What? That's spousal abuse. All right. Let's turn around and love your other neighbor. Payback. Payback, Jojo. Yes, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Thank goodness for Barry. All right, karate chop, get that stress out. Hey, you guys have been great tonight. All right, good. You're still awake, that's a good sign. All right, good job. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. All right, so let me talk to you about the shake real quick. Remember I mentioned one of the important things of the shake is to start your blood sugar off level, stable. And with the Metaclear, with the Ultraplex Complete Clean, you'll notice it's very high in protein, 20 to 26 grams of protein, depending on which one you favor, but only like 5 or 10 grams of sugar, and it's fructose sugar, so it gets absorbed very quickly, gets utilized very quickly. Also, both of these have a low-level detox support in it, phase 2 liver detox. So remember, we're talking about toxins causing your body to store fat. This is something that will help your body to release the fat. And also a multivitamin spectrum also. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would recommend that you do and give it, at least 23, right? 23 days or 30 days, and then see how you do with that. But the most important thing to stay in fat burning all day is to get started off on the right foot. And another supplement from our suite tonight is the Ultraplex Glutamine. Why is that important? Because glutamine helps support muscle mass. And if you're going to be not just eating good for fat burning, but also exercising with the fat burning hormonal response, we talked about creating more muscle mass, right? Single most determining factor for a strong, who can remember, strong, starts with the letter M, and it sounds like metabolism. Very good. Yeah. So glutamine helps support muscle mass. Does something else really important too. It helps to restructure the gut, repair the gut. And what is the gut important for? Your immune system. Hello? Yeah. What else is the gut important for? Serotonin. Anybody like feeling happy? No problem, Mom. So we want to make sure that we do that with probiotics, and also glutamine is another supplement which helps with that. And we use this to help prepare for leaky gut syndrome as well. So that's part of our suite tonight, for obvious reasons. Green tea phytosome. This is the metabolic benefits of green tea without the caffeine. So this is what helps to prime the thermogenic pump in your body. Thermogenic meaning fat burning. So this is something also that will support fat burning in your strategy, in your new strategy here. All right, so those are our fat burning resources. You guys got the handout. That's why we put these together, because they're synergistic. They work together. They have an amplified, more profound effect when they're used together. If you have any other questions, just ask Deborah tomorrow or Victoria at the end of the workshop. We have limited supply, so if you do want it, just tonight you'll be able to get the 15% off. And just talk to them before you leave. Also, something new for 2020. We have all of these supplements and the resources available to purchase online. No more waiting in line, no more forgetting. There's also an auto ship feature. I think I'm a little late to the tech game, but better late than never. So we have a link on our website. If you've ever been to our website, you go to elevationhealthplantation.com. You just go to the right, tap the shopping thing there, and you'll see everything that you see at the front desk, you'll see there listed. And if you want the auto ship, you get always 5% off. And that's part of your handout there. So we just got this set up. It's a fulfillment center in Orlando. They ship out the same day. If it's an over $100 order, it's free shipping. But if you want to set up an account, there's no charge to set up an account. In fact, they offered to set up your account for you. Basically, all you have to do is put your name and your email on that, leave it at the front desk. We'll send it to them. They're going to set up an account for you with a password, and or you can do it yourself. It's up to you. Whatever's easiest. You let us know anything that we can do to help you with that. We just thought this would be a great convenience for everybody instead of having to remember or wait. Sometimes you'll go a week or 2 weeks without taking the supplements, and that's not good because then you have to build it back up in your system again. So this will help with compliance with that, making sure that everything's done properly. You'll hear more next month. We have other things that we've been developing to make it more applicable for everything that you need as well. So that's your handout right there. Now, if you wanted to get the supplement suite, for example, and you didn't want to wait in line, all you have to do is just check off which supplements that you want there. The ones that are highlighted are for the supplement suite. And if we run out or you don't want to wait, and you just check it off, you have your name and your email, we can complete the order for you. Right, Deborah? Is that right? Okay. But just read the directions. If you're doing it on your own, read the directions at the bottom, and it'll tell you how to get on the website and open up your own account. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. All right. How many of you guys are learning something good tonight?
Yeah.
All right. I hope I'm not leading into that. That's not a trick question. But, you know, I really appreciate you for being here. I really appreciate the opportunity that you're giving me. I'm not signing off saying goodnight, but what I am saying is that, don't you think other people would appreciate that? Yes. How many people out there do you know that are hurting, they're suffering, they're looking for an answer, they don't know where to get it? They're searching online, they're reading crazy blogs, listening to people who may not be experts or know what they're talking about, getting bad information. What happens when you bring them here? Or, better yet, you write a review online. That's why I covet those, because people read those reviews. We just had somebody come in this afternoon. She said, we asked her, how'd you hear about us? Well, I read a review online, I think you can help me. Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. It comes down to helping other people and making our community a better place, a healthier place to live. And you're all part of that mission, and I really appreciate you for that. If you want to write a review, you know, we always do the 25% gift certificate because that's really, really important to us. So please let us know if you need any help doing that, and we thank you in advance. All right, let's finish up here. Bonus, extra decade of life. How many of you guys would like an extra 10 years to live, 14 years to live? Some of you are not raising your hand. It might seem like a painful few years ahead of you, the way things are going. Okay, so the point is, when should we start taking care of ourselves? As early as possible, right? If you're way late in the game, yeah, it's painful, but here's what they found. Harvard did a study, 34 years of data for more than 78,000 women, and then there was 44,000 men with 27 years of data, and here's what they found. The study estimated the women who adopted these 5 habits would see how many more years of life? 14. And men would add 12. Not too bad. You want to know what it is? You'll never guess. Eat a what? What else? Exercise. Does that say 30 minutes once a year? That says once a day. Don't drink too much alcohol. Don't smoke. Don't drink, don't smoke. Isn't that a song? Do you guys remember that? Am I dating myself? Adam Ant, 1980. Maintain a healthy body weight, BMI, between 18.5 and 24.9. So here we come back to this BMI thing. And if you're not familiar with it, this is the biggest thing that you need to be concerned about. It's one thing to be overweight, it's another thing to be obese. And if you're over 30, bless you, if you're over 30, it's regarded as obese, and that comes with it a whole different ball of wax and set of problems. 2008 report showed 6,500 people evaluated between the 1960s and the 1970s. They followed up, and here's what they found. Measurements in the initial part of the study were made to what? to determine how fat they were, the size of their belly, their thighs, height, weight. So they got the BMI in there, and here's what they found. 3 decades later, those individuals that have more body fat had dramatically increased risk for dementia. More body fat, more dementia. Bigger belly, smaller brain. When the scientists compared the group, you see the picture up there? That's the story it's telling. When the scientists compared the group with the least body fat to the group with the highest body fat, they found that those with the highest body fat had an almost 2-fold increased risk for dementia. Serious stuff, guys. How many of you have noticed how many people are being diagnosed with dementia lately? I am blown away. I am blown away. Like every once in a while I'll tell the story about my mother-in-law, what we're going through, and then I'll just get somebody who says, yeah, we're going through that with my mom, or we're going through that with this. It's like, where's that coming from? This is a big part of it, guys. This is a big part of it. And where can we trace it back to? Elementary school, food pyramid, obesity, diabetes, medications, right? Surgeries. Another large study just was finally published just a couple of weeks ago. Major surgeries, when you go under that for anesthesia, increasing risk of dementia. Yeah. Now, when I tell you guys that our healthcare system is the #1 cause of death, that's in front of heart disease. The treatment for heart disease and cancer and diabetes is the leading cause of death. Our healthcare system is deadly, guys. When you start looking at it macroscopically, you come up from a 30,000-foot view, look at all these problems that everybody has, and you're like, well, look what's caused it. The way we live. Because we go searching and looking outside here for the pill, potion, lotion, everything outside, when we forgot that God already put the most amazing pharmacy inside of us. The greatest doctor in the world you already walked in with. You know? That's why I always tell my patients, I move the bone, God does the healing. All I do is remove the interference to the most amazing healing that you already have inside of you. That was God given when you were born, when He breathed life into you. We forget that. And that's where the trouble starts. Because we're born into a medicine chest from cradle to grave. And we are brainwashed. So the authors reported, as in the case for diabetes, cardiovascular disease, central obesity, belly fat is also a risk for dementia. So again, it's really important that you consider this. Understand what your BMI is. If you don't know what your BMI is, be tested for it. And if you don't know how to test for it, you need a body composition analysis. That's when you stand on a scale, a biometric scale, which is going to translate all of those factors onto a sheet of paper, and it's going to break it down. It's going to show you what your body fat is, what your muscle mass is, what your metabolic age is, what your water percentage is, and it's going to break it down. It's going to show you how healthy you are or are not. It's going to tell you what your BMI is. It'll give it to you right there. You don't have to go by a number on the scale that tells you your weight, because you could be skinny on the outside and fat on the inside. And you don't know by how you look or how you feel. That's why the body composition is so important. The World Health Organization associates the BMI with, classifying risks for disease. So when I talk about getting started earlier, my burden is really like, I've never met somebody who had health challenges who wish they didn't get started with taking care of their health or their spine earlier. I met most of you guys when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and you got decades worth of damage in your spine. I told you can't get back to 100%. We got to do the best with what we've got. But doesn't it make more sense to get started earlier with your health? Yeah. So procrastination is the thief of health.
So, Kristen, you were just telling me how much weight you've lost, and when did you start the program?
April 6th.
April 6th, and we're in the beginning of August now. And how much have you lost so far?
54 pounds.
54 pounds. Wow, congratulations. Keep up the good work. It's awesome.
All right, so she went through our fat loss program. We don't call it a weight loss program, it's a fat loss program. Now, for those of you who have lost weight before and you gained it back, and you lost weight before and you gained it back, and you're done kidding yourself, this may be something that you need, because this is a fail-safe, fail-proof program. I mean, it comes with a guarantee. If you don't lose at least 15 pounds, we'll pay to put you through a second program. We'll pay to put you through a third program. If you're doing everything exactly as we show you to do. You have a daily manual showing you what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. It's really hard to mess this up. There's a journal, there's a fat-burning food plan. It's an educational process in and of itself. It's invaluable, and it's something you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. We have follow-up weigh-ins, and we meet with you consistently and hold your hand through this process and make sure that the body composition analysis is moving in the right direction. Like I said before, you can lose 15 pounds, but what if you're losing just all muscle and water? How would you even know it? When you lose 15 pounds, do you want it to be muscle and water, or do you want it to be fat? Yeah. The only way to know is to look at follow-up body composition analysis. And that's where you see your fat mass go down, you see your water mass go up, you see your muscle mass go up, and you see your metabolic age go down. For some of you guys, your metabolic age, when you do the body composition analysis, you may be 60 and it'll show you 90. What does that mean? You're 60 years old, but you have the metabolism of a 90-year-old. What does that mean? You're in big trouble. It doesn't matter what you eat, how much you exercise. That weight, if it does come off at all, it's going right back on. So the most important thing is that you lose fat and you fix the metabolism. So this is the only way to do it from an evidence-based, objective evidence-based strategy that we have, which holds your hand, and we have the printout and the readouts in front of you every weigh-in that you come in. We include the supplements, the fat-burning supplements, and again, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee that you lose the weight. It's a 40-day plan. It's personalized. We tailor it to what your goals are.
Hi, my name is Raquel Benar, and I've been on the program for 43 days, and I've lost a total of 18 pounds. I feel fabulous. One of the great things about this program is that you get to weigh yourself every morning, and it's not disappointing. And when you do have any type of hiccup on the program, it's not a problem. Just contact someone, and you will get an answer that's great. So by the time you're done, you get to this point, you really feel good.
Thank you.
She is a happy camper.
So, Kristen, you were just telling me how.
Hi, my name is Joe Berry. I've been on the program for roughly 45 days now. I've lost about 35 pounds. I feel a lot better. My blood pressure has come down. My cholesterol has come down tremendously. The doctor even told me I have to cut back on some cholesterol medicines. My triglycerides that were off the charts before are now within reasonable rates. The program worked great for me. You just got to set your mind to it and you can do it. It's very easy.
Anybody can do it. Yep. So you start with the testing. What is the testing? You stand on the scale, you do the body composition analysis, and it lays everything out for you. It'll give you a snapshot of where you're at with your health, whether you're overweight or obese. If you have a concern and you want to lay it to rest, it'll give you your report card right there, and more importantly, it'll give you a plan to actually fix it, and it'll give you a guaranteed plan. So start with the testing to see if it's a good fit for you, to see if you're a candidate for the program. It's normally $99. As an event special, we're doing it for only $27. Deborah, can you raise your hand? All right, so you'll make your appointment with Deborah at the end of tonight if you'd like to do that, and she'll go over all the details with you and tell you more about it. All right, the third key for fat burning, what is it? Optimal nerve supply. Are you telling me that fat loss, weight loss, has something to do with your spine? Well, what did we say fat loss was about? Is it about counting calories, losing weight, or is it about hormones? Hormones. What controls your hormones? Yeah. With few exceptions, hormone deficiency or hormone excess is the result of pathological manifestations in neurological pathways, right? Spinal lesions of the atlas axis, what's that? Right here, we talk about the atlas bone, right? Your atlas adjustment, right? We're associated with abnormal function of pituitary. What's the pituitary gland? The pituitary gland, does that control some of the hormones or all the hormones? Yeah, right there, C1, C2. That's right. That's why we say, when in doubt, get your atlas adjusted. So it resulted in abnormal hormone secretions, and that was from an osteopathic study. So here was a guy that he was trying to lose weight, he'd always have trouble, he'd get stuck, he had limited results. Then he comes in and he starts under chiropractic care, and then the dam broke. All these crazy results after I started adjusting him. So here's his story.
Please state your name and rank and serial number.
Dave Brown.
So, David, how long have you been coming to our office now?
Since January 5th.
Since January 5th. And what was the main reason for coming in?
Came in, I was really sick, diabetes, overweight. My blood sugar fasting was 240. Cholesterol was out of control. Triglycerides out of control. Just numbers weren't good. Just wasn't feeling good.
So since you've been under care, I know we've seen some changes happening really progressively. And so can you tell very briefly what you've witnessed happen with your health and where you're at now?
Sure. Followed the principles of maximized living. Dropped now. I'm total down about 17 pounds, but in the past 5 weeks, I'm down 11 pounds. My blood sugar fasting has gone from 240 down to 80. It's consistent between 80 and 88. At night when I get ready to go to bed, it's never above 100. It's working. I feel great. I feel a lot more energy. I feel good. Sleeping good at night. And it's amazing. Miracle.
So, what was the missing link? Here's like Army personnel, and he's exercising, he's eating good, and there was one missing link, the most important link, and it was his proper nerve supply. His spine was out of alignment in multiple areas. At the top, the atlas axis, if you look all the way over, one of the side effects of a problem in that area is not just headaches, nervousness, and insomnia, but what? High blood pressure. What did he say he was struggling with? High blood pressure, yeah. But that's also the area that controls the pituitary gland as well. And so that's why he started losing all the weight that he was struggling with after we started adjusting him. Chronic tiredness, dizziness, forgetfulness, nervous breakdowns, all that has to do with your hormones there. Here's another area that he was subluxated in when you looked at his x-rays, his thyroid. Bone out of place at the base of his neck, all the way at the bottom there. And what does your thyroid control? Your metabolism. We started adjusting that. It's part of taking care of him. His liver, he was subluxated. His body couldn't get the toxins out. His kidneys, reproductive organs. Here's a guy going to the bathroom 5-6 times a night. And after a month of chiropractic care, how many times is he getting up going to the bathroom?
None.
0. Yeah. So all this ties into your health, and I got news for you. It's the most important part. You can eat good, exercise, take all the supplements till the cows come home. But if your nerve system, which is like the electrical system of your health, if the circuits are blown or down, you're not getting power to those parts of the body, nothing's going to happen right until you clear that out. So we call that subluxation. When the bones are out of alignment, it puts pressure on the nerves. Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. The only way to know if you're subluxated or not, or the status of your spine, is to get an exam, right? X-rays help also. Kind of like when you go to the dentist every year, what do they take? They take x-rays. Can you feel tooth decay? No. When do you want to find tooth decay? Before or after the tooth rots?
Before.
Yeah. When do you want to find spinal decay? Before or after your spine rots? Yeah. If you wait till when you have pain, you're never going to get back to 100%. So whereas teeth are mostly cosmetic, and they do help you eat, if your spine rots, you don't get to get new bones, right? So which is more important in terms of your overall health? Spinal alignment, yes? So who should be having their spine checked on a regular basis to maintain maximum health?
Everyone.
Everybody, 100%, right. So wouldn't it make sense that everybody has a chiropractor that they see on some sort of basis to prevent problems? Yeah, but how many do? Not enough. I think the last time the study showed maybe 13% of the population in the United States sees a chiropractor, and that's probably not even for maintenance care, to be honest with you guys. So most of you in here, I'm speaking to the choir, but there's a few of you who don't have a chiropractor. If you're local here and you'd like me to check you, by all means, set up a consultation. We'll do that. If you don't live local and you want somebody, let me know. I'll find you somebody. It's not about me and what I need. It's about what you need, right? Same thing with loved ones. So what do? We do thermography. Oftentimes we'll take x-rays. So when I do a consultation and I do an examination and we're suspecting problems, we don't guess, we test. So we'll do the thermography, like on the left, the lower left there, you see all these colors cropping up, and that tells us that there's something abnormal. And it could reveal why you're tired, why you can't sleep, why your blood pressure's up, why you can't lose weight, why you have headache, brain fog, depression. It could reveal some of those things. And if we're suspecting that, then we go ahead and take an x-ray to rule it in or rule it out. The scan on the lower right, you can see, is mostly green. So somebody comes in with that, we're like, great, awesome. It's like you get your annual checkup from your doctor. If they see all your blood work's clear, they congratulate you, and then what do? Yeah, see you in January. So you come back next year, you know, so you get a clean bill of health. So either way, if you've got a problem and you want to get help, remember, it's smarter to do it sooner than later. And if you don't have any issues, when's the best time to prevent a health problem? Yeah, exactly. So you learned something important tonight. If your health is important to you, eating good, exercising, that's important. I talked to you about supplements, but listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not here to sell you supplements. I'm here to sell you on you. The most amazing healing power is inside of you, but it communicates through your spinal cord, through your nervous system. And that amazing healing power can be cut off. That amazing healing power can be interfered with by subluxation if the spine's out of alignment. And that's the only thing that may stand between you and your best health. And you'll never know if you're not getting your spine checked. So if you're a guest, Deborah's, who's making the appointments? All right, so if you want to have your spine checked, ask Deborah. Normally it's $350 for including the x-rays and the consultation and the exam and everything. But for 47 for the guests tonight. You can have that done, and we'll do the whole workup for you. The offer's good for tonight only. All right, so action steps. So more important than information is application. And what do I always say? Information without application is hallucination. Far out, man. All right, so let's make application. Get scheduled. Make sure you got your flyer for next month's workshop. Bring a friend. Get on your core fat burning supplements like we talked about. If you're a guest and you want to make an appointment to meet with me for your health consult, your spinal evaluation, talk to Deborah. And if you want to get your body composition analysis, she'll take care of that as well. All right, so thank you so much for coming tonight, guys. Love and appreciate you. God bless.